welcome to and/or welcome back to my YouTube page. So, thanks to a video or a comment that I got on another video about when I was filming and a hawk flew up and I said, oh, it's Freya. I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more because I got asked, well, how do I get that relationship with Freya? But before I get to that point, there's a small backstory. So, I was 18, I believe, and I had recently got released from jail. I got stopped with my roommates and my ex with marijuana. Not the point of this. And when I got back, I was staying with a family member that went awry. So basically, to get to the point, I had to sleep out in my mom's car for just 2 days. Primarily at nighttime, and then in the daytime I could like chill out with my mom. My stepfather did not like me, not the point. Anyways, so that night, the first night that happened, I was walking around with my CD player and my headphones. Yes, I know that made me sound old. And I was just kind of pacing around. I used music to kind of just escape, if you will. And that day prior, or that day, there was a hawk that kept flying around my mom's property that they were living on. And I had recently just connected to one of the biggest magnolia trees that I've ever seen out in the wild. But the hawk kept like circling around the property, squilling and squawking to the point where my mom was like, what the fuck is up with that hawk? So fast forward that night, it's at like probably 12 o'clock at night, which is also abnormal for hawks to be out. My mom had a swing set, like just a swing, one of the swings that you would see on a front porch, except for it was minusing the swing, so it was just like the structure, right? And I'm like, walking around asking the universe, because at that point I wasn't really working with any gods or goddesses specifically, as just much as I would refer to them as gods and goddesses. And all of a sudden, this fucking hawk flew down and landed there and made direct eye contact. I was about 5 feet away. Like, I felt when it eventually flew away, I actually felt like the actual wings, or the winds from the wings. And I was sitting there, or standing there, making direct eye contact with this hawk in the middle of the night. And at the exact same moment that I connected with it, it was just this immense feeling that, like, everything was going to be okay and everything was going to be, like, worked out. That lasted for about 10 minutes, and then it just flew off. Never saw it again. Fast forward to last year, I believe, we kept having a hawk fly out here and land on my neighbor's dock. And ever since that one experience, I've always been extremely drawn to hawks. What I did not know, and I've worked with Freya because of all the cats that we have. They normally, if I can't find one of the outside cats, I'll literally just say, hey, Freya, can you tell, like, Grandpa to get home so I know he's safe? Literally within 5 minutes of that, he shows back up. And I periodically give out offerings to her. Mine are simple. It's flaxseed, honey, and bread. That's literally what I give. But I've made a tradition to where every single time I randomly see that hawk, or both of the hawks that fly around here, that I basically make sure I identify it as Freya. And I'll say, oh, hey, Freya. I also do that with the crows. Well, the crazy thing about this was last year I actually discovered that Freya is heavily associated with hawks. And I never knew that. And a lot of the times, if there's like a lot of eternal things going on with me, or my depression's really bad, she normally shows up and it's just like, hi, I'm here. Everything's going to be okay. So I wanted to share that story. That's how I've gained the relationship. So if I'm ever filming and I randomly look over and I'm like, oh, it's Freya, it's a hawk. Now, a lot of people who hear this video, they're like, well, you live around a lake, so you're going to have hawks. Yes, 1,000%. But that's one of those unverified personal experiences to where a normal passerby, it's just a random hawk. But I believe that we can also talk and connect to animals without, whether it's 20 feet away from me or fucking 5 yards away from me. If I were to say, hey, hello, hawk, or greetings, when I see crows, I greet them good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, here on my property and then all around the place. And I also have this fun game me and my partner do where we will literally, I can spot a hawk from a mile away, literally like going down the road. And to me, I've always associated with Freya. And then it was actually verified that, in fact, Freya can be associated with hawks. So that's how I've built that relationship. And you can do this with any other, say, for an example, if you work with Hecate, black dogs, they're very, very, attached to that. Greet them. If I see deer crossing the roads, I will greet them and say, oh, hi, god or goddess, depending on if it's a male deer or a female deer. But yeah, I wanted to make this quick, simple video of explaining that. And like I explained to that person, if you have an animal that comes around your property, that's how one of the ways that you can connect to it without necessarily trying to like touch it or anything like that. If you sense its presence or if you hear it, like if it's an owl, greet it good morning, good evening, good night. And just talk to that. And on a spiritual level, you'll start building that relationship. It's just like I do the crows. I feed our crows around here, and like clockwork, they show up. And they leave me gifts every now and then. I have a video on that. But yeah, that's kind of how I do. Also with rabbits, if you see a rabbit cross your path, make sure you greet it good morning. It's an old wives' tale that you can have a good luck, or you can have a lucky day if you do that. So yeah, just also another thing, if you made it to this part of the video, drop your favorite spooky emoji in the comments, but also start looking up and trying to incorporate it into your practice, bioregalism. It will definitely, it's a game changer to your practice. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video. And as always, thank you so much for the new subscribers. Obviously, my OGs, thank you so much. You can find a link tree listed below that has all my other socials on it, my Amazon wishlist, my magical library, my Facebook page, you name it, it's there. And then I'll also have my Pinterest linked below as well if you would like to start following that one. It's just a newer one. So yeah, until then, also let me know, do you have any experiences with animals that you've eventually associated with gods or goddesses, or even a spirit guide or ancestor? But yeah, until then, I hope you're all having a great day. I love you all, and yeah,